Kaz, the library is perfectly safe. You can put away your spear.
I don't trust this place.
I understand that, given what we've been through, but the abbot is vanquished, Vasilka is no threat, and Esmeralda won't hurt anyone unless Artemis can't hold his tongue. What else is there to fear?
I don't like libraries.
Look, I know you're not the reading type, but those of us who are know that libraries are great repositories of knowledge and truth.
Then why are they called libraries?
I beg your pardon?
Lie is right in the name. If they're so trustworthy and safe, why don't they call them truth-braries or safe-braries? And what is a brary anyway?
Very well, Kaz. You be the vanguard. We need you to stay vigilant to keep us safe.
I don't know what you reading types would do without me.
Hey Dungeoneers, thanks so much for joining us for another episode of the Strahdcast. If you like what we do here, remember to follow us on YouTube or subscribe via your favorite podcast app to get notified every time we release new episodes. Thanks again, and take your listen with advantage.
Starting on Monday, January 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, we will be streaming Goon Files, a Delta Green adventure set in 1995 Philadelphia, featuring Ned in the GM chair. While you get excited about the spookiness to come, you can binge our other 2 mini-campaigns, Madness and Mercy and Death House, right now on our YouTube channel. Prepare to roll some sanity checks.
When last we left our heroes, after securing a safe place in Krezk for the refugees, our heroes headed back to the Abbey to tie up some loose ends. Pasha voiced his feelings, and Drogar and Kaz had a long talk with Vasilka about the nature of life. Artemis secured a symbol of the Morning Lord with a little help from Winnie's slingshot, and spoke again with Esmeralda, which went pretty well. However, there is still the tome hidden in the library, and the first clue to finding it mentions an author by the name of Marina Hugo. Will our heroes be able to find Strahd's lost tome? And what could be contained inside? Find out now on the Strahdcast. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Shuffle off this mortal coil and transport yourselves to the far, foggy realm of Barovia.
Well, you come to the M section.
Everything's
Would it be under H?
And you look for the H section then.
Yeah, H. You come to the M section, swiftly realizing that the
last name is how they...
by the last name of the author, and then you go to the H section.
Well, you have to understand, where I come from, they do it by the M's. In fact, they do it by the first name. All right, to the last name.
Moving amongst the stacks of books, you and sort of like making your way through the maze of bookshelves, you come to the H section, and you find
Hugo.
3 books by Marina Hugo. The first one, The Collected Works of Marina Hugo.
Okay.
The second, Dreams of Spring by Marina Hugo. The third, The Devil Said, Stay Calm by Marina Hugo.
Esmeralda!
What?
There's 3 here.
Well, look at the clue again. Perhaps she left some indication as to which was correct.
The poems. Which one is her poems compendium?
Well, they're all poems. She was a poet.
Damn it!
Okay. When I was a girl, books were kept from me. I was asked why. I was told the Lord would teach me all I needed to know.
And then the clue which mentions Marina Hugo. Marina Hugo's poems have always enchanted, and she has never been more timely.
What were the names of the books again? They were...
Okay, what's the devil one called?
The Collected Works, Dreams of Spring, and The Devil Said, Stay Calm.
I looked through the Dreams of Spring.
I want to look through the devil. Stay calm.
Drogar, you pick up The Dreams of Spring, and as you open it, a sudden whirlwind kind of moves around you, and some of the pages seemingly fly from the shelves themselves and kind of get caught up in this maelstrom, right? And sort of like almost like paper mache together, this long serpentine form. And as more of the pages convalesce, it almost ends up looking like this sort of paper mache serpent, like maybe like 20 feet long, who like rears back, looking up over all of you, and looks down at you, like opening its, it opens its mouth, and like there's little folded pieces of paper that take the shape of its teeth, and like horns run back as like these origamied shapes of folded pages, and it looks down at you and says, "Hello." That was wrong. If you're poking around St. Markovia's stash, I'll have you know that I am the bookworm in charge of this library, and I will defend it with my life. Please, only take the appropriate books. And then like the pages fly off back to the shelves.
Right.
Can I open the devil one?
Yes, you may.
No, you may not!
We gotta try.
Go ahead.
You take the Devil's Head, Stay Calm, and open it and begin leafing through it. No bookworm emerges, but nothing extra happens.
In the one that I opened, that the bookworm came out of, I start to read the poem. I start to read it. Is it like clicking? Is anything clicking for me?
Take the Dreams of Spring out again, and again the pages begin to convalesce.
Oh, I put it back. Well,
The clue, the cipher, the clue. It must have something. There's a code that must be broken.
Equals G equals 0.
right, hold on.
And U equals 1.
Marina Hugo. H
Okay.
equals G equals 0. U equals 1. O equals 2.
So it's 0, 1, 0, 2 for Hugo.
H equals G equals 0. I'm gonna just forget the fact that we have a podcast right now and just start writing some things down.
So the numbers end up being 0, 1, 0, 2.
What's that mean? You should know this.
Right? Hack
Yeah,
it!
hack it.
Binary doesn't have twos.
Come on, Kaz.
There are page numbers.
Yeah, Kaz puts on some blue light filtering glasses and says, "Let me hack the mainframe."
0102. Drogar will flip to page 102.
Doing so.
Yes.
You dirty dog.
Of
Dirty
the
dragon.
collected works, or of the which one are we in right now?
The devil
devil
one,
one?
I think.
The devil you know.
You open it
The devil tells you.
to a
no
page
time.
on which is written the poem.
Well, Winnie opens it, and I flip to 102.
Flipping to the page.
You did grab the book down.
On a page 102 is the poem entitled "The Devil Said Stay Calm."
Sigourney Hale was not born in this land, yet has learned its history well enough to know what makes it special. E equals 1.
Oh, shit.
L equals 3. A equals 9.
All right, so to H, Sigourney Hale.
All right.
For H, we're already in H. Hugo.
So Hale, yeah.
He starts going to like the top
And so
section
you
of it.
skip. I'm so lame. I also wrote the poem, so I'm just going to read it to you.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm so lame.
Wait, the devil. You wrote the devil poem? Read it.
I want to hear it.
The
Yeah.
devil said stay calm.
I feel like Winnie would stick around and
Oh,
read the
yeah.
poem, right?
As
We
you,
all would.
you hear the rest of us going off, and from the distance echoing, you hear, "I know this one. A comes before you."
Very good, Kaz. Very good.
The Devil Said Stay Calm by Marina Hugo. I always thought in darkest day the devil would meet with flame, with screams and pain and myriad way to excite my guilt with blame. The devil said, "Stay calm, my child. There is naught for you to bear. Woe is the way of the world, my child. It's nature. Give not a care." So I did not, and everywhere the world began to burn. Still I did nothing but stop and stare. We live in the world we earn. The devil said, "Just rest, my child."
We will not rest.
I see that her poems are a bit
Dark-sided.
dark-sided. Perhaps there's some lighter ones.
All right, on to
Sigourney
Okay.
Hale.
Sigourney Weaver.
So what are we? W.
Alien.
Alien 1, Alien Aliens, Alien 3, Alien 4. Avatar.
Scott, comma Ridley.
okay.
Okay, E equals 1, L equals 3, A equals 9.
Yeah, so we're thinking 931 in a Sigourney Hale book.
And H still equals 0,
Yes.
which changes
931.
nothing.
0.
Kaz types in with that
yes.
useless bit of
Wait a
information.
minute.
There are, coming to Sigourney Hale's collected volumes, there are also 3.
Mm-hmm.
Conquest, the early days of the von Zarovich campaign.
Oh.
Xenia, a home is built of more than wood and stone. And From Vine to Vein, the Wizards of the Wines. All 3 are history books. Some selection of this valley's history.
Oh, all seems super
Wow.
important. Was not born in this land, yet has learned its history well enough to know.
What was the thing? What did it say about
I'd like to look
Hale?
at the Conquest one.
What did it say about... What was the text about Hale? It said Sigourney Hale...
Sigourney Hale was
something.
not born in this land, yet has learned its history well enough to know what makes it special.
What makes it special?
So
The
what makes it
wines.
special?
The wines make it special.
Yeah, maybe.
I do think so. I will grab the wine book.
Grabbing the vine book.
Ooh, a puzzle!
Death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah. The dragon comes out. Oh!
You open it.
Oh my god, I love a puzzle so much. I get the sense Carter Owen. Esmeralda, do you know Carter Owen?
Yes, a politician, a little bit full of himself for my taste.
Oh yes, it says right here he likes the sound of his own voice a bit too much.
And it does.
Oh, but his heart is in the right place.
Oh,
Never known a politician with his heart in the right place.
I'm running to O's.
Oh,
Coming to, you find collected volumes from Carter Owen, again 3.
oh, Winnie, W equals L, I equals U, N and O equal P.
Wait.
Wait,
Say that again.
I don't mean the letter, I'm just surprised.
W equals L,
Hold on.
I equals U, N plus O,
N plus
yes,
O
equals P.
equals P.
And I imagine, like, I'm on one side of the library, and she's, like, down
Yes.
around a
Across
corner,
the-
like,
yeah.
peeking out, like...
Yeah, you all are running around. Esmeralda's standing in one place, being like, "You're supposed to be quiet in the library." But
Okay, what's his last name again? Owen.
Owen,
Owen.
Owin, and you find again 3 books written by him. The Devil in the Details: How Royal Marriages Bind Not Just Houses, but Wealth, Power, and the Lives of Thousands. Chivalry: Code or Corruption? How the Landed Knights are an Occupying Army. The Heart of a Nation: An exploration of the relationship between ruler and ruled.
Oh boy.
I think the Heart of the Nation is the one we need.
What does it say? His heart's in the right place?
Chivalry.
Yeah, but his heart is in the right place.
Okay, his heart is in the right place. Can we look at the heart book?
Mm-hmm.
So,
But the numbers, we have to find the numbers.
yeah.
Okay, the best I can tell that the code is plop.
Amazing.
I don't know what I did wrong.
His heart is in the right place. Well, he's dead, right?
Yeah.
The graveyard! Kaz runs off by
So Kaz leaves.
Why aren't you all following me?
It's the books, guys, not the bodies.
All right, you got the book.
Yes.
So, 2...
Right, okay, so... Alright,
L,
so
what's-
W equaled L, and
So-
L was 3, so W equals 3.
So 2, 3...
I equals 1. I have no idea what N or
1.
P are.
Okay, N plus O equals P.
O is 2.
So...
N plus O.
Yes.
Do we have an N?
We have not yet...
We're trying to figure out what N is. So we know it's... I had this. 2, 3...
Campbell, if you discern the clue from Trevor's bad poker face, that's metagaming.
All he ever does is look at me and go like this.
2, 3... 2, 3, 1... something.
Where?
That's... Because that's... Owen is 2, because we know O's 2,
Yeah.
W is 3.
W is L, and L equals 3, so that's 2,
Yeah.
3,
I is 1.
U, and what does U equal?
U is
Or-
1.
U is 1?
Yeah.
So that's what? That's
2.
2, 3,
So this. Oh.
2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, and then
I
N
drank too much beer
equals...
for this.
N and O equals P.
N plus O equals P.
P minus 2 equals N. We don't know what P is, though.
We don't know what P is?
No, or N.
That's
N
why
plus
I
O
got
equals
plucked.
P.
That's why you got plugged.
Oh, fuck. I'm so sorry. I wrote it wrong.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yes! We figured it
Oh,
out!
it's not a P. It's not a P. It's a 10.
Oh, it's a 10!
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not a P. It's 10. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
So N is
N
8.
plus O equals 10. Yeah, because O is 2, N is 8. So we got down to
So
3... No, it's
N
2,
equals
3, 1... 2,
10.
3, 1, 10.
2, 3, 1, 10. So 2,310.
23,110.
Is that possible?
2, 3, 1, 10.
Are there that many pages?
3.
There are not. The book goes to 5,638 pages.
Oh, God. Okay, hold on. I'm
So flick through all the pages until a piece of paper falls out.
I look to the next book. I look to the book about...
You have everything that you need.
Okay.
2, 3,
Okay.
1, 10. Because wait, what is it worth?
Oh,
All
you
right,
got
hold
the
on.
whole
No,
shit.
it's got to be a minus. It's got to be 2, 3, 1, 8.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. I was
What
trying.
are we looking
I was
at?
too.
What is
I
the
was too
pen?
busy trying to figure out what P was, and P was 10.
P doesn't exist.
P doesn't exist.
P is a figment of your imagination.
P does not exist.
P is a red herring.
P does not exist.
Oh, the library explodes!
I win math bleats.
I'm going to say 2, 3, 1, 8. I'm going to flip to 2,300 and...
2, 3, 1, 8.
Opening to page 2,138.
How'd you get there? I'm confused.
Yeah, me too. You want to do some push-ups?
Yeah, I think Esmeralda would like that.
All right. Katerina Ivar.
Ivar,
Yes.
I'm running.
Katerina Ivar never asked for the throne, and one mistake would give her enemies an excuse to take it from her. She ruled for 50 years. Right. Winnie, have you found it?
Ivar!
Ivar, books by Katerina Ivar. Again, there are 3. Rules for the Ruler, Tradition at its Faultiest, and My Life, The Facts and Fictions.
What does it say? Say again. What is the rest of the clue?
Hold on, I'm drinking a cider. Katerina Ivar never asked for the throne,
Never asked for the throne.
and one mistake
Oh,
would give her enemies an excuse to take it from her.
one mistake. Okay, tell me the titles again.
Rules for the Ruler, Tradition at its Faultiest, My Life, The Facts and Fictions.
Okay, I'm gonna try Rules and the Rulers.
For 500, Trebek.
You pull
Daily double.
this final book, and as you do so, you find behind it, instead of the back of a bookshelf, it's hollow. And you feel a cool breeze start to waft across you as air begins to pass through between the books out of the shelves, and it makes a low sort of humming sound. Ooh. And then back where you collected the other books, you hear as the book as the bookshelf kind of the back moves away, and that note is joined by another ooh, and then ooh, and the 4 notes coming together to make a melody. And then you hear like a that big statue of Saint Markovia at the center of the library suddenly begins to move. What? And with the mace held aloft and the book in the other hand, she lowers her mace and looks down and takes one knee. She ends up in like the superhero pose. And the book that she is holding, she extends it forward. And the cover of the stone book opens.
Oh, shit. Get the fuck out of here.
And inside, all congregating about, resting gently, is a blood-red volume. with lilting cursive scrawl across the front that reads, L'amore Nabarovia.
Drogar will approach as the Legend of Zelda, and will hold up the book. No, he'll go and
No, I wanted a boomerang.
I'm sorry, guys, it's just a compass. I will go and pick the book up and just kind of hold it.
As you grab a hold of it, even through your draconic scales, you feel the book is warm to the touch.
Spooky.
And you pull it out, and it's the cover of it is just this really sleek, leathery, red-dyed cover.
Is it leather?
Feels like it. Let's not ask any more questions about it.
It's a type of leather.
It's a type of leather. Yeah, and then just, what do you call it when it's like pressed into...
Embossed.
Embossed, that's
Embossed
it, yeah.
leather,
And then,
yeah.
so embossed in curvaceous sort of black cursive across the top. And the only markation on the book, it just says, L'amore Nabarovia.
Is the journal, is it like one of those journals that's like got the leather tie around it, like that's, or is it a book?
It is. It's large and very substantial, but it's not. It's almost striking how unornamented it is. There's no buckle or strap or ties.
Like the Holy Grail. It's just a book.
It's just a book. This...
Bedtime story?
And yeah, as you sort of take it out, Drogar, Esmeralda walking up behind you. This is it. Strahd's tome. Within those pages may very well be the secret to defeating the devil.
Well, shall I do the honors, or...
This is your bag, heroes. You got us this far, you decide what to do with it.
Artemis will take a few steps back and go, yeah, go for it, Drogar.
I love how gun-shy he is ever since the skull on the door.
How much more warning did you want?
There was a skull on the door!
I was waiting for you. Sure you want to do that?
Listen, after 6th level, you lose that, yeah.
Right.
I was pissed
But yeah,
off.
you stand here in the library. The time is yours.
Drogar will attempt to check for traps on the book.
How so?
He's just gonna run his fingers across like the leather at the top and like along the pages and feel if he feels any sort of like embossed like incantation or like a.
Are you trying to check if it's magical or?
You know what? That would be what Drogar would do. Let me check if there's arcana,
Great.
like
Arcana check that.
arcana,
Yeah.
like magic, anything that's about it. Okay, that's a better roll. That is a 19.
Yes, it's. Let's see. If it's just an Arcana check,
Yeah.
you're not detecting magic or anything.
No, I'm not expecting a spell.
You trace the sort of. I like to imagine that magic when something is enchanted, when magic is put onto a book. I like to imagine if to the trained arcanologist, you can almost see like how threads come out of a blanket or like wisps of arcane energy, kind of like loose strings. If to the trained eye can be identified, and so yes, this book has been enchanted in some way. What you can't discern just from a sort of inspection, but it is magical.
I imagine Drogar puts his hand over it, and his hand kind of like when you shine like a really powerful mag light behind your hand, and you can see it kind of coming through the skin. I imagine that he drapes his hand kind of over the tomb, and that effect happens.
Almost, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like it's radiating through his hand. He can see the magic.
You feel it, and it's warm to the but it's warm to the touch, not in the way that like a stone placed by a fire. It's not in the way that something collects heat. It is warm to the touch in the way that things generate heat. You know what I mean? Like skin is.
Almost like flesh of indeterminate origin.
Yeah, Drogar kind of just looks at the tomb and goes, well, there's certainly mysterious arcane energies erupting from the book. I do not know what type, though. And furthermore, this leather, dare I call it, is unlike any wrapping of a tomb I have ever seen. He holds it up to... What's her name?
Esmeralda.
He holds it up to Esmeralda's face, trying to match the skin, like the color of the book to like...
It's red, though.
Yeah,
the book
red.
is blood
It's
red.
like, yeah. Clearly dyed.
I think it's been dyed.
Do you want me to shoot my slingshot at it? I rolled really good before.
Trevor will hold the book up.
No, put it away. Put it over there. No, put it...
I don't want to prematurely do anything that may cause the book to destroy itself. Let's take our time with this and make sure we know what we're dealing with before we attempt anything.
We cut to 2 hours later, and it zooms out, and it's all of us just staring. The book is on like a stool, and we're all just like...
We have many, many friends that may have dealt with things of this nature before. We know a strong wizard. We know a strong vampire hunter. If we can't figure this out ourselves, let's see if our friends can help us.
Very true. Very true.
Esmeralda, do you have any ideas?
Well, if it were me, I would open the thing and be done with it, and then go cut off his head. But you have your business.
Drogar will pick up the tomb, and will burn his last dispel magic of the day.
Mm-hmm.
In an attempt to dispel if there is any sort of magical incantation trap on here to dispel it.
Okay, great. All right, go for it. Yeah, make a just give me a wisdom. You know what? Make like a roll plus your spellcasting modifier.
Sure.
Like you're making a spell attack.
That is a 15.
Okay. You what do I want to do here?
Oh, God.
I fucking hate that.
Artemis runs.
Drogar throws the book at Artemis.
Throw the book at him, Dano. Drogar, holding the book in your hands, you begin to sort of channel your magics into it, trying to dispel whatever illusions or traps or whatever else may be upon this, trying to dispel those that it might be a little safer to utilize. What is dispel magic like? Can you describe the process?
Yeah, so I imagine that for dispel magic, it's almost like an absorption spell. So it's him pulling whatever magic was turned into that trap. He's just pulling it into. He's pulling the magic that was formed into that spell. He's unwinding the pieces that made that spell slowly but surely, and absorbing the magic as it comes in.
Grant. So you begin that process. You sort of like reach out with your hand and reach out with your mind, and stretching forth your laces of divine energy. You start to begin the process as it would always go. You sort of feel the bindings of the weave begin to lift up off the book and sort of like coalesce invisibly but very palpably in your palm. And as you go about your business just trying to pull the magic, something weird happens. You kind of like when a seatbelt gets stuck, if you make a sudden movement, it just kind of like, and you're like, well, that's odd. But so you kind of keep trying to give it a little more gusto, but then you start feeling your hand being pulled back towards the book. And in your other hand, where it rests, it begins to vibrate and shake and move to and fro.
I dropped the spell.
The spell is vanished, but the book does not stop. It begins to sort of writhe like almost like an injured animal in the palm of your hand. It flips open, and the pages start just firing by, right?
Cows! Get the spear!
And you feel this weird sensation of weightlessness, Drogar, almost as if being lifted off of your feet, and then suddenly you are being just hurled through darkness, and the rest of you see him just vanish, the book close, and it falls to the floor.
Oh, shit.
No!
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
What do you want to do?
Oh, God!
Kaz runs over to the book and tries to open it.
You do the same thing. You grab it and hurl it open, and that same thing. This time it begins sort of like snapping as you open it. Oh, and you almost have to begin wrestling with it. Yeah. And then you get that same sensation, the same sense of weightlessness, and you two are just pulled seemingly into the very pages of
Drogar!
And in fact, this time as it drops to the ground, up out of it, a font of magical energy, almost forming like a tornado, coming up out of the open folded pages of the books. The rest of you remaining in the room have to sort of like close your ears to the deafening sound as you're like lifted up off the ground as if by an incredible wind, and you're sucked through the air and find yourself being drawn into the rapidly flapping pages of the book until it snaps close. Drogar.
As I'm falling, I should have long rested!
You find yourself crumpled in a heap on the floor of an enormous throne room.
Oh no.
It is unfamiliar to you. Yeah, guys. So yeah. Oh yeah.
Is this what you had planned?
Oh yeah.
Dang!
Before we go any further, can we say during that 2-hour time cut that we took at least a short rest? Let me burn some fucking hit dice.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. We could say that you took a little bit of a short rest when you got to town.
Okay, great. Do you roll hit dice? Is that how you do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can choose any amount out of your max and just roll them, and that's how, add your con mod to each die roll, and that's how much you recover.
Got it. All right.
Oh, I'm using the wrong die.
I'm gonna do 3.
Yeah, me too.
So, Drogar, you find yourself in this massive throne room. And you sort of pick yourself up, making some dad noises on the way. And you have time to notice some of the space around you. It's 400 feet long, with high vaulted ceilings. The columns inlaid into the walls reach up to meet in an almost conical shape, running the length of it. Looking around, noticing the architecture, when Kaz appears next to you.
Kaz! Blade landing.
Whirling around Drogar and saying Kaz's name, you go to speak the words, and it's like you mouth it first, no sound comes out, and then it's like almost like you hear an echo all around you in the air of your own voice. Kaz. But it's on a little bit of a delay. And you can hear it, the echo, kind of travel across the room until it reaches you, Kaz. And then you hear it as if full volume, as if he's standing like right next to you. Kaz.
You see Kaz's mouth make some motion, and then you hear, Did you cast silence again? Again.
No. I have no idea.
Way to run with that mechanic. Thank you for buying in. I love it. That does my heart real good. And it is in this confused exchange that the rest of your compatriots come to land in the hall with you.
Now, is it everybody? Is Esmeralda here? Is Sasha here?
Yeah. Well, yes. We'll say it's everyone in the room. Pasha here. Sasha is here. Esmeralda. Everybody.
I don't want it.
What the fuck is going She's killed the shit. I think it's okay now.
Drogar cast silence, but he won't admit it.
You fool! I did not cast silence! I am not that careless! Besides, silence doesn't transport you to another plane!
Whoa, what was your show? Shut up!
Shut up!
Wow, that horse is
fucking dead.
We came here to learn something. So let's pay attention then, huh?
Well.
We can just, yeah.
Ooh,
Just
that was cool, though.
for the sake of making this episode not 3 hours long. Let the imagination carry.
You don't want to drop a 45-hour
As you ask the question, from the far end of the hall, huge double doors open. The sound coming from inside the room does not have that echoed effect. This everything else that happens around you, you hear, see, experience in real time. Well, also I should mention, everything around you, the colors aren't quite right. It's sort of this like washed out, bloomy grays and reds instead of the natural colors of what you might expect to see around you. It almost looks like a filter or a lens is over everything. So at the far end of the hall, the double doors open. And walking into the room, stepping down the long blood-red carpet that runs from the far end of the hall all the way along it to the throne at the far side, comes Strahd, but not as you know him. He looks younger, color in his face, and he wears full plate armor, a deep maroon color with a golden dragon emblazoned on the chest piece.
I know that armor.
You do know that armor. You do know that armor. He looks considerably younger than you have seen him before. As he walks the long hall, he passes by you unseeing, just passing by you as if you weren't there, as if you were just not but apparitions. And he makes his way to the throne. And coming to it, you start to notice the details of the throne. It's up on this huge raised dais, and it is a large, high-backed chair that wings out on the armrests. And the back of the throne, where a monarch's back would rest against, is sort of this intricately carved with obsidian stone cast into the very metal of the seat. And it depicts a man holding the world above his head. And it's split in half like a pomegranate. And out of the two halves of the globe runs rivers of liquid of some sort down into the waiting maw, almost like if you've seen those paintings of like Kronos eating his, you know what I mean? Yeah. Into that like waiting maw. The spilled contents of this shattered earth. And Strahd walks along the hallway, and as he approaches the throne, you see another figure step out from behind the throne itself. A small, portly man in yellow and purple jester's attire. You know, the three-tailed hat with the bells on the end, some puffy pants, a nice vest, all the works. And he steps out from around the side of the throne with a cheeky grin on his face, and he begins to speak. The younger prince comes to the throne, with soured face and tidings to moan. His lightning campaign ended none too quick, quite embarrassing for him, or my name's not Piddlewick. Yeah, Strahd looks at him with venom in his eyes, and he says, "Should I have need to recover a coney from my helm, I would be happy to hear your opinion, clown. But on military matters, your words are wind. I would speak with my father." "Well, if King Barov is whom you seek, you'd do better to be kind and meek. I do not know if he may come to the floor. His attentions are much sought in these days of war. He knows I am here. You roadside curiosity. Wasting my time means wasting his." The whole silent for a moment. Until, at last, Piddlewick stands atop the throne, arms crossed, his head jauntily leaned to one side, considering for a moment that he gets a wide grin on his face again. "Always so serious. I only jest. I'll fetch your father. After all, he knows best." Strahd sits there in the quiet of the hall again for a moment, until a few moments later, Piddlewick comes back. This time, he's got one of those long trumpets, you know, with the flag that comes down from one end. And he comes out. and he blows the horn, and it's this really awful, like, dolorous sound, almost like a screeching, like it sounds kind of like a bald eagle screech, but a real bald eagle screech, which is just like, it's this horrible sound that comes from the horn. Let your mind be filled with awe at the tamer of realms and the crafter of law. A ruinous world to order will bring our monarch, our leader, our Bear-of King. And then emerging also from behind, working his way around the side of the throne, comes a man, tall, dark, menacing. A sharp widow's peak composed of long black hair straight as a knife's edge drapes his pale face, and a finely trimmed mustache and beard cover his mouth. He wears elegant, voluminous purple robes that seem to triple his size. Without saying a word, he steps around the throne and deposits himself in it, sitting back and leaning his head against two fingers, one against his temple, the other running along his lip, and sits there expectantly with a cold look on his eyes. Strahd kind of squares himself up, puffs up his chest. You see a look in his face and in his eyes that you've never seen before. Who could say as to what it is, but it is an unfamiliar emotion coursing through the Count. Father, though the native Zenobians have proven themselves to be more tenacious defenders than first we had assumed, I have broken them at last. Argynvost is dead, and the will of the resistance is shattered. There will doubtless be pockets of rebellion to tend to, but for all intents and purposes, Father, the valley is yours. In celebration of your great victory, I would lustrate the valley in your own name. Henceforth, King Bear-of, it will be called Barovia. There's silence for a long time, as the king does not move, statue still. Strahd begins to squirm a little, almost at the foot of the stairs, until finally the king, removing the finger from his lips and his hand from the side of his face for a moment. This is acceptable. Send me your brother. I would speak to him. And he goes to get himself up and leave the chamber again. And Strahd watches him go, and you can see him do I stop him? Do I let him go? What do I do? You see that the thoughts running through his head. And he says, Father, there is one more matter I would like to discuss while I am graced with your attentions. And you see him, he stops in his tracks on his massive shoulders, obscuring the view of the throne now as he turns. And he kind of turns stonily and sentiently back to Strahd, bearing down on him with just malice in his eyes. Proceed. I believe I've identified a suitable location for a castle. A new castle. It would serve as both a symbol of your strength, and from its vantage we can project power across the entire valley as we transition the land fully under your control. I have men breaking ground as we speak. Upon its completion, I would like to name it Ravenloft, after Mother. Dead silence. And the king takes a few plodding steps forward. You hear his footsteps echo through the throne room. He begins to step down the dais. And you can see Strahd. He had puffed himself up before, but with each step he takes, he cows a little bit. Until finally his father is standing on equal ground with his son, and he can't even hold his eyes aloft anymore. He looks down into the side. He moves up inches from his son's face. You would speak her name in my presence? And Strahd, in an instant, whips his head back up. I would honor her, father. You cannot honor her any more than a rat honors a crust of bread, than a termite honors the craftsman's home. It is because you live, she is dead. Your breath sullies her good name. Mention her again, and I will pull your tongue from your mouth with my bare hands. Have I made myself clear? And as he speaks, he catches himself up into a fury and falls back and collapses against the stairs. And Strahd goes forward to try and help his father back up, but he reaches to and pulls a dagger from his hilt and takes a swipe at him. And Strahd has to stumble back a few steps. And the king rests there for a moment, his eyes wide, and he's like searching, and he starts to come back to himself. Hey, Piddlewick, my nerves are frantic. Please, do calm them. And Piddlewick moves over and he starts juggling a couple of balls. He gives Strahd an understanding look and then turns his attentions back to the king. He just begins juggling and singing a little tune as Strahd turns and starts power walking out of the long hall. The scene shifts. The world around you swirls and curves and tumbles, and you feel that weightless sensation again, but only for a moment. It's like you're just being lifted up.
Oh, everyone hold hands, quick! We're going somewhere again!
It's almost like you're, as if, you were a child and a parent is lifting you up, putting you up on another step. And it refocuses. You are in the familiar, all too familiar dining chamber of Castle Ravenloft. It's that long table set exquisitely onto one side at one head of the table, framed by that massive pipe organ. But when you look out the window, no mists to be seen. In fact, you see the night sky out the dark window up beyond, and even a little bit of a hint of the light of the moon. At the table, on one head, just where he sat when he invited you to dinner, sits Strahd, looking a couple of years older now, and a little disheveled. That sort of sleek ease that he has presented himself is absent. It's looking as if he's had a little bit of a rough time. Also, at the other far end of the table, at the opposite head, sits a woman in a really resplendent dress. She is the spitting image of Irina. Sat next to her, off to the side almost as an afterthought, is a large, huge man with a bald head, dressed with a fine vest, the spitting image of Ezek. They sit at this long table. This side, the woman and the man looking a little uncomfortable. Strahd also looking uncomfortable, but not quite the same kind. He lifts a wine glass daintily and swirls it, almost like raising a toast, and begins to speak. My friends, thank you for joining me this evening. It is an honor to host such fine examples of native stock, and as the first guests in my newly completed castle, I ask you to raise a glass to toast the meeting of our two houses and to a fruitful and beneficial relationship as I move into my role as ruler of these lands. At the far side of the table, not sure if he had finished speaking yet, they kind of snap into action, and the woman raises her hand, or raises her own glass. I thank you, Count. Your hospitality is unmatched. I hope that you will share the same kindness with all who dwell here in Barovia. But of course I do find your people fascinating, and I will do all I can to help them as Count. I really am quite glad you are here, Tatiana. The first moment I saw you in the market square of Vallaki, I knew I had to have you here in my castle. If you and I can form a strong bond, you as nobility of this land, me as nobility from afar, would we not make quite a pair? If we can forge a bond, it will shine as a brilliant example for all subjects here to follow, no? And the man sitting next to her, Strahd, course corrects. Yes, of course, thank you truly for accompanying your sister here tonight, my friend. Your concern for her happiness and safety is very aspirational. The man, clearing his throat again. Yes, of course. I would give my left arm to see Tatiana happy.
Oh, God.
Turning to Strahd. As it should be. Well, my friends, let us raise a toast to new his speech is interrupted by a wide set of double doors opening. And striding into the room comes a man. You've never seen him before, but you can tell instantly there's a familial relationship between he and Strahd. He looks a couple of years older, but he's handsome. in almost the same way. But everywhere that Strahd is severe and dark and hooded, this man is bright. He carries a levity to him and an ease as he walks into the room. And as he does so, Strahd, quickly putting down his wine glass and sort of standing to attention. Sergei, I had not expected you so soon. I have things well in hand here, as Count, as you can see. In fact, I was just meeting with some of the local nobility. So, as you can see, there is really no need for your visit. Sergei holds up a hand. Easy, brother. Don't worry. I am not here to step on your toes. But as Father has made me Dauphin of all new conquered territory, I must do my due diligence and visit all the new fiefdoms. Please, who are your guests? This is Lady Titania and her brother Cendric. They hail from the local village. And Sergei kind of like sweeps across the floor, taking Tatiana's hand in his. He raises it, gives it a deferential and respectful kiss on the back, then releases it and takes a knee. My lady, thank you for welcoming us to your home. I know this cannot have been easy, but I promise the transition will be a peaceful one. I believe there is much we can learn from each other. And you will be in good hands, as long as I am here. This I promise. And she's sort of like, well, yes, I very much look forward to working with you as well, Sergei. And Strahd just sits there, sort of his eyes darting back and forth between the two. He sort of pitifully raises his wine glass again. As I say, to new relationships. Scene shifts again. You leave behind the dining room. This time, as you come to, as the scene forms again around you, the first thing that it makes itself apparent to you is the rushing and howling wind. You are on a mountain peak somewhere that you do not recognize, but the snow runs deep 3-4 feet up, and a howling gale whirls the dark clouds above the peak, passing by in quick succession. And you see Strahd, dark shadows under his eyes, standing atop the mountain, right where you have reformed. He holds a torch in one hand, his cloak and long ponytail whipping in the chilling mountain air, and stares darkly at the gates of a temple built directly into the side of the mountain. And you hear it, a voice carried on the wind, like an evil whisper. It seems to conjure itself around and inside you as the sound meets your person.
You came. I did not think you would.
And he looks stonily at the face of the temple. I have not decided yet. I need some answers first.
Long way to walk, with no decision in mind.
Hold your tongue. Whatever it is you use to speak, tell me, what are you? Why do you haunt my dreams? Why did you want me to come here? Tell me.
I told you. I want to help.
What? Out of the goodness of your heart, I am not so naive as that monster.
No. I wager you aren't. Well, if that's the case, you've nothing to fear. I'm inside. We can have a talk.
I would have your name, at least.
All good things in time count.
I've heard enough. I'm leaving. And he quickly turns and starts to make his way trudging through the snow, which comes up to his knees back down the side of the mountain.
Very well. I suppose you'll just have to live with the way she looks at him.
And he freezes in midair. Taking a long time. Again, you see his hair, cloak, and the flames of his torch whipping in the breeze. And he turns back around. For a long moment stands motionless with the mountain around him. And then he walks with purpose back to the temple. And the scene shifts again, one last time. You stand in that circular room, the room at the tallest tower of Castle Ravenloft, the very room where Irina was held captive when you rescued her. Snow coats the windowsills, and you can see it driving outside. And the air in here is electrified with tension. Strahd stands to one side, Tatiana and Sergei to the other. Tatiana speaks first. You know, this isn't easy, Strahd. That's why we wanted to be honest. Come spring, we will be wed. It would do both of us so much good. If you would be there, if you would be willing to attend. I should have seen this. He stole you from me. Just like he stole everything else. And Sergei, gets a consternated look on his face and begins to step forward, raising one hand, but Tatiana puts up a hand against his chest, stopping him in place. Strahd, he did not steal me. This is my choice. I do care for you as much as anyone in our two positions can. But it is different from how you feel for me. I cannot give you what you need, Strahd. I cannot ever give you what it is you want. I am sorry, but that must be enough. No. You poisoned your mind against me, just like he did fathers. Just like he did the people of this valley. Brother, it is not your fault the way father treats you. He cannot separate you from the loss of mother. Please, it is not your... Do not speak to me of mother! Do not say her name! You got to know her love, I never did! And now you get to feel Tatiana's when I am again cast to the side! I won't do it. I won't do it. Not this time. Not again. Not with Tatiana. He pulls a knife and rushes forward across the room. Sergei goes for the hilt of his sword, but Tatiana runs, jumping in front of Sergei as the knife shoots forward, planting itself into her breast. A look of shock comes across her face, her eyes wide as blood spills from her open mouth, and she begins to shrink down the side of Sergei, running down and collapsing on the floor right at his feet. He throws his hands out and cradles her in his arms on the floor as she looks, her eyes scanning the room with wild fear. And Sergei just begins to scream, "What have you done? What have you done, brother?" As Strahd backs away, panicking, he drops the knife from one trembling hand. He reaches the far wall and slinks down it, holding his hands to the side of his head. What have I done? What have I done? And then you hear it again. The voice.
Strahd, what have you done now?
I can heal her. We have the best doctors in all the land. She will be fine.
No. It's far too late for that. You know what you have to do now.
No, I won't. I can't.
If you ever want to see her again, you will. Seal the pact.
No. There must be another way.
There was. But not anymore. Seal the pact, Strahd. Set me free. Seal the pact, and I promise you will see her again, and again, and again, for as long as it takes. You can still save her. You can be the hero this time.
And you see darkness fall over his face. I can save her. Picking the knife back up, I can save her. He walks across the floor to Sergei, who's sobbing uncontrollably with the dying Tatiana staring blankly up towards the sky, blood running from the corner of her mouth, eyes wide with shock. You can see her turn her head and her eyes to Strahd coming, and fear run across her face. She holds up one arm, running it, leaving a bloody handprint down the front of Sergei's cloak. Sergei looks up, also seeing his brother make his way across the room towards him. Strahd, what are you doing?
What?
I must. And he grabs hold of Sergei's neck, bringing him up. I will take control. I will rule over these lands, over these people, over time and space. And he plunges the knife into his brother's breast, out and back in again, hacking and carving. I will take control. I will rip this valley from the very flesh of the earth and hold it. He drops the knife and reaches his whole hand into his brother's chest cavity and hold it in the palm of my hand, ripping his still beating heart out of his brother's chest. I will hold her at the center of all of it, for at least this way she will never be out of my grasp. I am all for you, my love. I am ancient. I am the land. I am Strahd von Zarovich. And you come back to yourselves collapsing on the floor of the library, the room echoing around you. And quiet falls again.
Everybody roll a sanity check.
Oh, shit.
Oh. Yeah, great. All of that happens, and then you get shot back out of the book, and you're all sort of like blasted black
Against
in a
the
crumpled mess.
bookcases?
Yeah, against, yeah. Blasted into the couple of the volumes like fall out and bunk you on the head.
Winnie just pops her hand out of a pile of books.
But yeah, you saw all that. You were back in the library. The time is yours.
Kaz is on all fours, books surrounding her, a pool of vomit in front of her face.
Oh.
God's curse it, I hate books. I hate books so fucking much. I hate books!
Strahdcast features Campbell O'Hare as Winnie, Ned Pryce Iannacone as Drogar, Kay Devine-Jones as Kaz, Tyler Kanter as Artemis, and me, Trevor William Fayle, as your DM. A patron a day keeps the devil away. Special thanks to our newest patrons, Courtney Bjorquez and Cottagecore Creations, our newest annual subscriber. A reminder that you can purchase or upgrade an existing subscription at any time to an annual one for a 10% discount. If you're not ready to support us financially, there are still plenty of ways to help us out. You can follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at Critical Fail DM, binge Madness and Mercy on our YouTube channel, and join us there every other Sunday at noon Eastern Standard Time when we do live listens of new episodes of the Strahdcast. Or rate and leave us a review wherever you like to listen. Thanks, Dungeoneers, and take your day with advantage.